to MoKan Outdoors. Today we're going to be talking about the plans for our 2020 deer season. As of right now, my plan is to focus on my spot. But if any deer come on the camera that I am willing to shoot, I'll be after them as well. The primary plan for me to hunt is early season. I plan to get some does down and fill up the freezer. And then as it gets later on in the year and the rut starts to pick up, I'll probably be hitting the stand a little more and trying to fill my buck tag.
Alright, so this is my hunting spot on Google Earth. Back in here is where my stand is. As you can see, the location is in the second tree in the middle. There's one on the left, one on the right, and then it's the one in the middle. It's a 20-yard shot to the bean field right there. Back here is where they bed, right in there. They bed right there, come out in this little pocket, and then they work their way down to the edge where I have a 30-yard shot in the beans, and to the edge of the beans is a 20-yard shot. My feeder's 23 yards, and
Here I have another challenge, so I'm playing football and I have practice every night of the week, and some on Saturdays too. So my hunting time is very limited. You guys may be saying, football will be done by November. Well, I work for my dad on our hunting business, and I have to guide almost every day in November. I'll find time when I can, but as of right now, I'm going to be looking for a cold front in October, and maybe something in early September if we can get that lucky. Maybe something will pop up on my camera, or maybe my dad will let me go after another deer. Whatever happens, I know it'll be a great season, and I'm looking forward to it. As for filming our hunts, me and Eli will try to get together many times throughout the year. But if we are unable to do so, we have self-filming gear that we can just use on our own.
I'm here on the edge of a clearing, which is home to my favorite tree stand. And behind me in the woods, there are various different game trails that all lead into the clearing, which creates quite the hot spot for deer. Alright, what you all see directly behind me is my favorite place for hunting on the ground. It's a field we typically would take hay off of for our farm, so there's a lot of times hay bales out here and deer are used to that. Because of that, I'll use that to my advantage, and I will set some hay bales out in the location I would like to sit and hunt from and hope for some success. It's a place that I've taken 2 very large bucks out of the last 2 years. So my ground hunting spot has 2 things that make it particularly interesting to me. So one thing is a strip of woods that connects 2 other sets of woods, so it acts slightly like a highway for the deer. And the second thing is that in that strip of woods, there is a wet weather creek. And during the deer season, oftentimes there's water because it is a rainy or cooler season. So I would likely do a good portion of my bow hunting from my tree stand because of the proximity to the deer's bedding ground, since the deer tend to walk very close to it, providing me with some good shots. However, I will do a good portion of my rifle hunting in the bottom field because deer congregate there as they're coming out to eat early in the morning and late in the evening. It's getting on towards the time of year where I need to be deciding which buck I'm planning on shooting. So I have a little bit of a long story about that. So about 2 years ago, me and my dad were coming home from taking care of some farm chores, and we drove by our hayfield. And while we were doing that, we noticed 8 or 9 just absolute monstrous bucks, like bucks you would see in like Bass Pro. And as we looked out there, there was one that stood out in particular to us, and he was incredibly wide. Unfortunately, he was shot later that year during that deer season and was estimated to score between 180 and 200 inches. And he was a typical deer, no drop tines, anything. But the second buck that I liked was a buck with a drop tine hanging off of him probably 10 inches long. And I've always been particularly infatuated with drop tines, and so having that opportunity has really been something that stood out to me. He was not shot during that season and was actually located after the end of last deer season again. So as far as I know, he's still out there. You may be asking yourself, when exactly do we plan to hunt? So the opening day of Missouri bow season is September 15th, and that continues until November 13th, which is the opening day of rifle season, which is my main season. That continues until November 25th, which then resumes the bow season. Somewhere in the middle of that second bow season, there is an alternatives hunting season, which I will choose to hunt with my 50 caliber Traditions black powder rifle if I haven't already filled my rifle hunting tags. Also, the second bow season will depend on whether or not I've already shot deer in the first bow season. Some of the video ideas we have coming up, as I'm going to give you some teasers now, is we're going to talk about some past hunts that we've had and give you a little bit of breakdown of those and see if you guys like them. We're going to maybe look at some of the pictures of the deer we have on our trail cams and videos we've captured while out and about, and talk about our hopes to maybe shoot one of them. And we're going to look at some deals with some other types of hunting, including dove hunting and maybe some fishing and that sort of thing.
Thank you for watching, everyone. Don't forget to comment on what you'd like to see next. Like, share, and subscribe. See you next time.